The first step in making your stocking is you need to cut out the pattern. So with your scissors, you're going to cut on the solid line around the outside of your pattern, and when you are done, it should look like this. Students ask, should I leave the line on or the line off? It doesn't really matter. The second step is to cut out our stocking, and we want 2 identical pieces. So the easiest way to do that is we're going to cut them out 2 at a time. So to do that, we're going to take our fabric and we're going to fold it in half so it's double. So once I have it folded, I'm going to take my pattern and place it on the center of my piece of fabric, making sure that it's all the way on my fabric, and then I'm going to pin it on. When we pin, we want to make sure that we go down and up. We just can't stick our pin straight in like that. We need to go down and then push it up. A little difficult to do one-handed. I have my pins in place, and I put 3 pins in my stocking. So I have 1 near the toe, 1 near the heel, and 1 across the top. What you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that your pins are not going over the edge of your pattern, because that's where we're cutting, and we don't want to cut into our pins. It will dull our scissors, and we won't be able to get through there. So once you have your pins in place, you are ready to cut. Now that you're ready to cut, my little trick that I like to do is I like to hold down my pattern and fabric with one hand while I cut with the other. And when I'm cutting right up to my paper pattern. I'm holding it down with my one hand, and I'm cutting with my other hand. Our next step is to pin the pieces together. I have 4 pins in mine, and when you put the pins in, you want to go down and up, and you want the edges to be even. So next up, 4 pins, down and up. After you have it pinned, we're going to stitch around the edges of your stocking, leaving the top open. You can do a running stitch or an overcast stitch. These 2 stockings here, previous students have done. So whichever stitch you feel that you can do the best job. My suggestion is hiding the knot and the inside of the stocking. So each of these students left their knot where you can see it. To begin sewing this, what I would like you to do is I would like you to hide your knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a stitch from the back of my stocking. So my knot is in between both layers of the stocking. So from here, I'm going to now make my first stitch. I'm going to just do a running stitch. I'm going to make sure that my edges are even. Again, you don't have to do a running stitch, but we are not going to turn these. This is the side that we're going to see. So whatever stitch you do, you want to make sure that you do a neat stitch. When it's time to knot your stitch, let's say you run out of thread, you can put your thread on the inside, and then you can make your knot like we normally do. A small stitch, and then through the loop. And then that way it's going to be on the inside. Okay, when you are done with your stocking, some people like to add a little loop to hang it from. So I just cut out a little strip from my scraps of fabric, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in the corner at the top of my stocking, and I'm just going to attach this with a little running stitch. When you are done with your stocking, I would like you to take a picture of your stocking and a picture of you with your stocking, and attach that in Google Classroom or send it to me in an email.